Let's get it. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles now, live here on Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day as we talk all things Philadelphia Eagles. Free agency buzz with some external free agents as well as some of the Eagles' own free agents, but also some trade rumors, draft targets as well. And because we're going to be talking about the offseason, because the offseason is officially underway, I want to start off today's live show with this poll question here. Your favorite part of the offseason. This could kind of dictate how we cater a little bit of our coverage over the next couple of weeks. D for draft, F for free agency, let me know. I'm here, producer Trizzy Trace is here, you're here as well, and it's going to be a great day. Who is Jay? Starts it off by saying draft. Yaya Ali, Bobby Wagner cut. I saw that, and maybe if the Eagles can't afford TJ Edwards, they could bring in Bobby Wagner for cheap. Brandon Ford, draft. Cool Reigns, free agency. Elijah, draft. Brandon Ford, let's effing go. My guy, how you doing? Looks as though you've been living it up over the last couple of weeks, getting over that Eagles Super Bowl loss. John O'Malley, he's here. Brandon Ford, back-to-back Super Bowls. Let's speak it into existence. Mike Halo, draft. Robert, draft. Devontae Smith fan, draft. Labrian Harris, yo, go Birds. I'm seeing a lot of drafts here, which is very, very interesting because I kind of like free agency. I like the draft as well. I'm kind of split 50-50, but we're going to be covering it all. Both of them right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. And speaking of draft time and this free agency period, here are some key offseason dates for those of you who are not familiar. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. NFL Combine starting next week, February 28th. We'll actually have a crew there. Tom Downey, Sam Brown. So hopefully we'll be able to get some coverage out of that we'll be able to use here on Eagles Now. NFL free agency starting officially on March 15th, but on the 13th, that's when the tampering window begins. And then the NFL draft after that, April 27th. And really, after the NFL draft, that's when this roster really starts to take shape. Now, we're going to talk about, Flipping the Bird, $100 super chat. There he is. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. Let's go. Let's run it back, baby. Woo! So, this is the funny thing with Flipping the Bird sending in that $100 super chat. If Squidward Tentacles does not reach out to us, then I have a gift for Flipping the Bird 85. Squidward Tentacles, I've been waiting for you to reach out to me over the last couple of weeks because I had told you you could be the winner of this Philadelphia Eagles 3D print because you sent in the largest super chat. But he never reached out to me. So if nobody beats Flipping the Bird 85 with that $100 super chat, or Squidward Tentacles does not reach out to me, then we're going to send this to Flipping the Bird 85. You could put this on a mantle. You could put this on a desk. It's a 3D print. Actually looks really, really cool. And on today's show, speaking of those super chats, if you send in a $5 super chat, you're going to be able to sign the Man Cave sign. That's this one right here. $10 will spin the wheel. $20 Philly Special sip out of the Philly glass here. $50 Trace will train like Rocky. I might force him to produce a show with the Roxy boxing gloves on here. It's Thirsty Thursday. And for $100, we will do a beer bong race here on the show. So shout out to Flipping the Bird 85 for really getting things underway. We appreciate you, my guy. And if Squidward Tentacles isn't in the comment section and nobody beats that $100, we're going to send this sign out to Flipping the Bird 85, who continues to be a real one. All right, let's get back on track here after that excitement. Is Jalen Hurts a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? Y for yes, N for no. Also, our live poll question, I encourage you to get your votes in. Is Nick Sirianni an elite head coach? Yes, 2 very good years, 73%. No, more to prove, 27%. So make sure you get your votes in there as well. I'm seeing a lot of Ys here. And get those Ys in, or those Ns, as much as you can. John O'Malley, Mike Halo, Cool Rains, Robert, MacDog, Andre, John Jones, Yeah, Donald, Spades Relks, Flipping the Bird 85 saying yes, he's top 3. All those other names submitting their whys. Spades Relks saying, Chase, hi, haven't been in here in a while. Spades, 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 Spades. Welcome back, homie. Philly Special going why. Speaking of Philly Special, we had the Philly glass. Nick Foles going up to Doug Peterson. You want to go Philly? Yeah, let's do it. So no no's so far in the comment section. A-Trap, yo, what it do? Mike Halo at least top 5, debatable top 3. With how he played in the Super Bowl, how he played all throughout this year, I agree. Top 5 quarterback. All right, if you're ready to talk birds, come on, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Get those E's into the comment section. Spam E for the Eagles as many times as you can in the comment section if you're ready to get underway. An absolutely loaded show on the docket. Spades Relks, Cool Rains, Yeah, Flipping the Bird, John O'Malley, XT, MacDog, Robert, John, XT, John, Cool Rains, David Alston, John O'Malley, MacDog 5000, Philly Special, Matthew M., Trevor Teal. Any relation to the Teal family in Westchester? I know them. The Gaming Roblox, David Baran, Matthew, John Howe, Namish Gadewar, The Gaming Roblox, Spades Relks is back, Joseph Krager, Jay White, Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Anthony Floyd, John Wick, I like that. CJ Peterson, Dana Brickus, it's not John Wick. It's John. Cool Rains is in there. Come on, spam those Z's. Let's bring some more people into the show. And if you want to be on board and hop on board and join the show, a couple of ways for you to do that. Use the hashtag Eagles, better yet, Super Chat, to get featured here on Philadelphia Eagles Now, like Flipping the Bird 85. And with 114 people watching live, how many likes can we get before we get into our official show start? 34 likes right now. Pepper that thumbs up icon and like the video. Make sure you smash that John Wick and like that John. 118 people watching live. 37 likes. Can we get the 50 before the official show starts, as we're talking Eagles free agency. We're talking Eagles trade targets, Eagles draft targets, that and a whole lot more. And, of course, we'll be taking your questions as well. John Wick, I got you, brother. Appreciate it, man. We're up to 44. Yeah, we're up to 44 likes. Can we get the 50? Can we get the 50? Can we get the 50? We're 3 away. Make sure you hit that, John. And if Squidward Tentacles or nobody beats that $100 super chat from Flipping the Bird, we're going to send this to Flipping the Bird. We've been interacting through Facebook message. So I already have his address on deck. And he was a previous winner here on Eagles Now. Let's show him the super chat menu one more time there, Triz. Oh! Elijah! Let's go! Thurman with the 5. Elijah Stovall with the 105. So that now is the number to beat for this 3D print. Elijah said, you know what I was trying to save for my NFL trip, but screw it. I'm going to beat out Flipping the Bird 85.
I want that sign.
Now we have a little bit of an arms race between Elijah and Flipping the Bird. So that's 2 $100 super chats to start off our Thirsty Thursday show. Boom. And the real one, Peter Thurman, also coming in. He wants a real one roll call. Real one roll call. We appreciate you, Peter. In the meantime, right out of the Philly Special mug, that's our sip for you. And let's go back to the super chat menu here because we're going to have to do 2 races. $5, sign the Man Cave sign. $10, spin the wheel. Philly Special sip for 20. So, Peter, I gave you a sip just because you're a real one. $50, Trace will train like Rocky. $100 beer bong race. So right now, we're going to put Flipping the Bird on here. We'll go Flipping the Bird 85. Elijah Stovall on here as well. So, Elijah, I'll probably be messaging you on Instagram if nobody beats you. So make sure you look out for that. And then Peter Thurman on here as well. So let's ride. All right, now we're going to start the show. We'll do the beer bong races after our 3 segments. How about that? So make sure you hang out with us for our Eagles Now happy hour. In the meantime, diving into all of the latest Eagles news and rumors here. We're going to start off as Brandon Graham coming back to the Birds. Could the Eagles trade for Jalen Ramsey? A couple of interesting moves in store. Could be cultivate, right? All right, cool. All right, so hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. 7 likes away from 69. Tom Downey would be proud. More than 100 people watching live and all of you hanging out with us. And we'll fulfill those super chats, those big ones at the end of the show for our Eagles Now happy hour. All right, tell your friends and family that we're live on Eagles Now, talking about the NFC champs, trying to get back to the Super Bowl next year with some of the moves that we're discussing today. And let's officially start the show right now. All right, here we go. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now on Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. Appreciate all of you for tuning in and making our coverage a part of your day. On the show today, we're diving into all of the latest Eagles offseason storylines. Could Brandon Graham return in free agency? Could the Eagles make a trade for Jalen Ramsey? We're getting into all of that and a whole lot more. But I do want to start today's show with this, and I want you to have fun with it, number one. Second of all, I need you to be honest. I was asked the other day, because I'm currently on this running streak of nearly 300 days, what my 40-yard dash time would be. And I've never really been all that twitchy or all that fast. I said a 5.1, so now it's your turn. List what you think your 40-yard dash would be down in the comment section. I'm going to go back and read all of them. I imagine we're going to have some pretty interesting responses. All right, as for what we're discussing on the docket today, Brandon Graham, is he going to be staying in Philadelphia, being that he is a legendary Philadelphia Eagle? Could the Birds trade for Jalen Ramsey? And during the NFL draft, could we see the Eagles trade up to take the stud cornerback out of Penn State and Joey Porter Jr.? But first, BG back? There's growing buzz that the Eagles will try to bring back Brandon Graham in free agency, and this is only right. Drafted in 2010, he's experienced so much in Philadelphia. The start of his career, it looked as though he was going to be a bust. Everybody wanted Earl Thomas instead of him, but then, over time, he's ended up being one of the most legendary Philadelphia Eagles of all time, and he's had a hell of a career. First-round pick in 2013, not 2010, so I misspoke there. So a first-round pick back in 2013. From that time on, up until this point, he has 70 career sacks. That ranks 4th in Philadelphia Eagles history. He won Super Bowl 52 and had arguably the most iconic play in the history of this franchise by strip-sacking Tom Brady. And he's really had a terrific career, and he's coming off a career year at 34 years old for Brandon Graham. Now, because he did have a solid 2022 campaign, he's going to have suitors in NFL free agency because there are teams who are going to inquire about his services because regardless of the age, he got after the quarterback in a really impressive fashion a year ago. And he still has gas left in the tank, and he said he does want to continue to play. Now, before we dive into Brandon Graham and what he did this past year and what some people who cover the Eagles very, very closely have said about him returning, make sure you subscribe to the channel because if BG gets re-signed, whenever the Eagles make a signing, we're going to cover it here on Eagles Now, so lock us in and subscribe today. What a year it was for BG. He tore his Achilles. Some people thought this is going to be his last year. But honestly, he proved everybody wrong who was going against him. 11 sacks, that's a career high. 48 pressures, 32 quarterback hurries to go along with 16 quarterback hits. Now, Reuben Frank has covered the Birds for a really long time for NBC Sports Philadelphia, and he did a "are they going to stay or go" type of segment on the website, and he thinks that BG is actually going to return, and that's on top of some of the buzz that we've been seeing here. You know BG wants to play another year. Why wouldn't he after a career-high 11 sacks in his 13th season? But it's tricky because Graham doesn't want to play anywhere else, and the Eagles don't really have the money to pay him what he's worth. And with Hassan Reddick, Joshua, and Derek Barnett all under contract, do they really need BG? We all thought that maybe he would retire after 2022 and head straight to the Eagles front office, but his play changed things up. BG has earned almost $90 million in an Eagles uniform, and if it makes sense for anyone to give the Eagles a hometown discount, it's him. Hopefully they agree on a budget deal worth a few million for 1 year, and we all get to say goodbye to Graham the right way. And I've said this about BG for a little while. Seeing him in a different uniform would be like seeing another Eagles legend, and Brian Dawkins in the Broncos blue and orange. It just wouldn't make a lot of sense. It wouldn't feel right. It wouldn't look right. So hopefully he's able to retire as a Bird. So should the Eagles re-sign Brandon Graham? Another one of our poll questions on today's show. Give me an R for re-sign in the comment section, P for too pricey. Please let me know and share your thoughts down in the comment section. As for my take on it, can't really envision Brandon Graham in another uniform. And there's no doubt he wants to chase another Super Bowl. He said after the Super Bowl defeat to the Kansas City Chiefs that we're going to be back here this year. And it's going to be an uphill battle for the Eagles to get back to the promised land once again and to return to the Super Bowl. All throughout the course of NFL history, there have only been like 7 teams who have lost the Super Bowl and returned the following season. But if there's any team that can do it, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Next up on the show, could the Eagles trade for Jalen Ramsey? Eagles have shown some interest before, and did the Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs with James Bradberry struggling to hold up against Juju Smith-Schuster show Howie Roseman in this front office that they need to bolster cornerback number 2 and that defensive secondary as a whole? The Eagles have made an offer for Jalen Ramsey in the past. They came in 2019 when he asked out from Jacksonville. At the time, the Eagles offered a first-round pick and a second-round pick straight up in exchange for Jalen Ramsey. And from Adam Schefter at that point, Howie Roseman was confident that the Birds were actually going to be able to land a future Hall of Fame cornerback who's gone on to have a great career. Schefter said, quote, the Eagles thought they had a chance to land Jalen Ramsey, but as we know, he ends up going to the Los Angeles Rams because their asking price was a little bit higher. We'll take a look at his numbers coming up around the corner, as well as that potential trade-up for Joey Porter Jr. But first, let's tell you about today's sponsor in Cultivate. Cultivate, a free browser extension that brings transparency to your Amazon shopping experience. Cultivate shows you the brand, seller, or product origin and identifies local alternatives that support local community efforts while saving you money. With over 50% of Amazon U.S. sellers based in China, Cultivate offers a way to avoid trickery from these sellers and keep money in the U.S. economy. Cultivate offers alternatives that are on average 30% less expensive than Amazon without any additional costs, such as Amazon Prime. It can even identify local alternatives that you can pick up the same day. Cultivate users earn free donations as rewards for using the extension, and the more you use it, the more you earn in donations by increasing your level. In fact, Cultivate donates 51% of the revenue they make on your purchase. So, to the Bird Gang out there, what are you waiting for? Head to wecultivate.us/chatsports. Download Cultivate for free. I have it on my Chrome extension right now. And let Cultivate bring transparency, savings, and community support to your Amazon shopping journey. Support the show. Download it with our link. We're going to put it down in the comment section, and we're going to put it in the description of this video. As for what Jalen Ramsey was able to do in 2022, at points this past year, he was burnt toast. At points, to me, when I watched him very closely, he didn't look to be all that motivated, and he really did struggle at times in coverage. Now, Darius Slay has 1 more year left on his contract, and a lot of people have made some interesting points in saying that they think that the Eagles, instead of letting James Bradberry go, they should instead trade Darius Slay, re-sign James Bradberry for a fraction of the price, and then maybe bring somebody else in and do something like that. Do we not have those numbers for Jalen Ramsey? I'd put him at the top of the sheet. But so Ramsey did struggle a little bit, which is very, very interesting for him because he's paid as one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the NFL. And for Jalen Ramsey, for a long time, he has played some premier football. And my take on this, to those saying that the Eagles can't really afford him, Contract restructures are a thing. Howie Roseman has certainly specialized in that, and Howie Roseman is an absolute genius when it comes to really finding ways to manipulate the cap and go through some of those numbers that can be altered in a way to make them team friendly. As for what Ramsey did in 2022's coverage snaps here, when he was targeted, allowed a completion percentage of 63. That's not good for one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the NFL. 659 yards. He gave up 5 touchdowns and a quarterback rating of 85. And his Pro Football Focus grades, somewhat surprising because PFF does watch every single snap, and his grades actually check out pretty solid. 86.4, run defense 91.8, pass rush 91.1, even though you obviously want him to be a back-dropping cornerback, and then his coverage grade at 78. So, again, you go back to my take here. A lot of people will say Eagles can't afford him. With contract restructures, you can. Howie Roseman is a genius when it comes to the book. So, if you had your choice at cornerback number 2, who would it be? Would it be James Bradberry, type JB? Would it be Jalen Ramsey, type JR? Comment down below. I want to see where the people are at. Fly Eagles fly, right down to the comment section. Lastly, let's round out today's segment with this. Could the Eagles trade for Joey Porter Jr. and trade up for him in the upcoming draft? Bleacher Report listed a trade up for Porter as a dream trade scenario for Philadelphia this year. And I've continued to say, I really like Joey Porter Jr. as a player. When I watched him at Penn State, kind of gave me some Richard Sherman vibes, although he might be a little bit more athletic than Richard Sherman. Plays with swagger, plays with toughness, plays with physicality. He can jam receivers at the line of scrimmage, but he does have that speed to also catch up to them if he initially gets beat or maybe whiffs on that press coverage. And the numbers here in 2022 under defensive coordinator Manny Diaz with the Nittany Lions, really, really impressive. 254 coverage snaps. He allowed 0 touchdowns, 10 forced incompletions, and a passer rating paltry, 59.1. And his coverage stats, you take another look at it, this is according to Pro Football Focus, so they actually gave him another pass breakup, 0 interceptions, 11 pass breakups, 143 yards given up as a whole, and a completion percentage, as we said, of about 50. And here's the thing about Joey Porter Jr. Bleacher Report may have listed him as a dream trade scenario. I don't know if you need to trade up to get Joey Porter Jr. I think that you might be able to get him at number 10. Now, here's what BR had to say about that subject matter. While trading down could also be an option for the Eagles, they should be more interested in moving up to secure the prospects they covet the most. The Eagles' Super Bowl window is open now, and in an ideal round 1, they'd land 2 instant impact starters for their defense. I like the philosophy there of the Eagles maybe letting a James Bradberry walk, maybe letting a Fletcher Cox walk, and then you replace them with 2 rookies at 10 and number 30 who can be impact starters right from the jump. I think that Joey Porter Jr. can start as a rookie. Then at number 30, if you get a defensive lineman, or at number 10, if you get a defensive lineman, D-tackle or edge, and then you go corner at number 30. I think with both of those spots, you could have some rookies who play right away. And according to the buzz coming out of the Eagles locker room and out of that organization, they absolutely love Jordan Davis, and they're really high on him as well. So with that, let's ask you this. Which positions will the Eagles target in the first round? As of right now, pick at number 10, pick at number 30. All right. The pass master. What is he saying? No way. Slay and Ramsey would be the best cornerback duo of all time. All time? Wow. Would they be up there? Yeah, probably, if Ramsey's able to return to form. The pass master, he followed that up by saying, mark my words. John O'Malley said defensive end. Cool Rain said cornerback. That's good stuff right there. Bam Bam. Yeah, but either way, if Slay walks, C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Ramsey duo will be disgusting. That's true. Now, Slay can't walk. He would have to get traded. So Bradberry is the one who would be able to walk. All right, if you want to hop on board, join the show, get your comments featured on screen, a couple ways for you to do that. Use the hashtag Eagles, better yet, Super Chat, to get featured here on the show. That's hashtag Eagles or Super Chat to get featured on the show. We had 2 $100 Super Chats that came in. We'll get to those after we're done our third segment. So stay tuned for that for a Philadelphia Eagles Now happy hour. But in the meantime, here is our Super Chat menu. If you send in a $5 Super Chat, you sign the Man Cave sign. And Squidward Tentacle still hasn't reached out to us. So right now, the number to beat to have this sent to you, $105 to Elijah Stovall. We'll also sign it too. $10, we'll spin the wheel. $20, a sip out of the Philly mug. $50, Trace will train like Rocky and produce an entire show with the Rocky Balboa gloves. And for $100, we'll do a beer bong race. As for what we're getting into next, Eagles draft targets. That's coming up. Continue to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. 170 people watching live right now. We are 24 likes away from 100. Show the bosses here at Chat Sports that the Bird Gang does not mess around, and hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. By the end of the segment, I'm challenging all of you. Can we get to 100 likes in about 10 to 15 minutes? Again, I'm challenging y'all. Captain Delberto is back. What up, Delberto? All right. Next up on the show, like I said, some Eagles draft targets. It's all going to be brought to you by Athletic Greens. So let's take a look at some players who the Eagles could select in April's NFL draft. Who are the Philadelphia Eagles going to pinpoint and take in the 2023 NFL draft at the end of April? As of right now, 2 picks in the first round at number 10 and number 30. You can never count out Howie Roseman in trying to move up for a player who he likes, or even move back to garner and pick up more draft capital. Before we take a look at some options at 10 and 30, I want to hear from you down in the comment section. This is today's poll question. What is your favorite part of the NFL offseason, especially pertaining to the Eagles? Is it the draft, type D? Is it the free agency period, type F? Share your thoughts with us. Draft target number 1, and a player who I'm kind of growing high on, and I've really been intrigued more so over the last couple of weeks. It's the defensive end out of Clemson, Myles Murphy. He is a bona fide target at number 10 for Philadelphia, and a freaky athlete who could really bolster this Eagles defensive line, especially if they can't re-sign Brandon Graham, or if they move on from Javon Hargrave or Fletcher Cox. The production at Clemson been pretty good over the last couple of years. 22 solo tackles in 2022, 11 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, and a fumble force this past year in what was kind of a disappointing season for Dabo Sweeney's squad. When I scout Myles Murphy, what I see, great size. This dude is as twitchy as any prospect at that edge spot in this draft class. He is 6'5", 275, very chiseled. In his Clemson career, 96 total pressures. So the production was there very, very consistently. Also had 20 sacks in 3 years. He really loves to impose his will. He has some pro comps to Trayvon Walker, who was selected number 1 out of Georgia by the Jacksonville Jaguars last year, as Doug Peterson was in that war room. And I love how he plays physical football. I like his passion for the game. As for what he needs to improve on, just needs to develop more of a pass rush arsenal with a lot of those moves. Now, NBC Sports Philadelphia, in their mock draft, as we're kind of doing a mock draft roundup here as well, had Myles Murphy going to the Birds at number 10. And I like the selection because we know that Howie Roseman and this organization always prioritizes building along the trenches. Here's what Dave Zangaro had to say about him. Whenever in doubt, expect the Eagles to go to the trenches, and that's what they do here to land a really excellent edge rusher from Clemson. Murphy, 6'4", 275, size and athleticism. He's also been productive in all 3 years at Clemson, totaling 18.5 sacks and 36 tackles for loss, and he's already really solid against the run. Again, some of these sack numbers, according to different publications, can change, so keep an eye on that as we give you our draft coverage here on Eagles Now. Like Pro Football Focus, for instance, does not account half sacks. They just go full sacks, so that's interesting there. Continuing on from NBC Sports Philly, he's already really solid against the run, is Murphy. He's even big enough to play inside on passing downs. Brandon Graham does that a lot, by the way. Expect Murphy to have a really strong showing at the NFL Combine. And speaking of our draft coverage, make sure you turn on your notifications. Make sure you subscribe. Therefore, anytime we go live, anytime we push out a video, you will be notified. Of course, whatever happens in free agency, we have you covered. With draft prospect profiles like this, we're going to talk about it. When the Eagles make their draft picks, we'll be live for it. That's why you got to subscribe. Another draft target at number 10, and I'm hoping, frankly, that he falls to the Eagles at number 10 because this might be one of my favorite selections at this spot, in addition to Joey Porter Jr., especially at cornerback. It's Devin Witherspoon, cornerback out of Illinois. who played for one of the better defenses in the country last year for the Fighting Illini. And how he grades out really is superb all across the board. A lot of pro comps here to Darius Slay, who obviously Eagles fans know very, very well. Burst onto the scene in 2022 in a big way. Had a Pro Football Focus grade of 92. For instance, league average at the NFL level is 70. Had 738 snaps this year, only gave up 22 catches on 63 targets, good for a completion percentage of sub 35. No touchdowns allowed in coverage to go along with 3 interceptions. Pro Football Focus's scouting breakdown on Witherspoon: no cornerback upped their value more this year. After entering the season as a relative unknown, Witherspoon is now our top cornerback prospect in this draft class. That didn't happen by accident, as the junior's 92.5 grade led all FBS corners this season. He finished top 5 in the country in completion percentage allowed, forced incompletions, second in passer rating when targeted, and yards allowed per coverage snap. And he did that while playing more man shades of coverage than any other cornerback in this class. And as I mentioned, his pro comp is Darius Slay. Rangy, pretty good athlete. Most importantly, though, and I think this is an underrated aspect of a defensive back, it's having good instincts. It's having good ball awareness, where if you get beat, you're not running in to the wide receiver or the tight end. You're actually going to turn around and address the football because you're reading the eyes of that receiver target. You're reading the arms, whether or not they know if the ball's going to come or not, and just having an understanding of that defense and that Fighting Illini defense, a pro-style defense, which obviously Witherspoon will have to pick up. What is the biggest area of need on the Eagles? For me, when I look at this roster, it kind of all depends on what happens in free agency. But defensive tackle, edge, cornerback, safety, linebacker, depending on who leaves and who goes and who stays. So those are a couple of needs that I have on this Eagles roster. More prospects to come, but first, Philadelphia Eagles Now Today is sponsored by Athletic Greens. You can get 5 free travel packs and a year's supply of vitamin D if you use our link, athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because, given my work schedule here at Chat Sports, I'm really busy. Combined with my training regimen, as I'm on a mission to run every single day for a year straight, I wanted sustained energy. I wanted to stay healthy by keeping my immune system strong so that I can strive toward my professional work life and personal fitness goals. I take AG1 every morning as part of my routine, and it sets the table for the rest of my day. It's helped improve my gut health. It's boosted my energy. It supports my immune system and helps me recover since I'm putting such a toll on my body. I've also really started to prioritize my health over the last couple of years, and that's also why I love AG1 and its 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. I also love that something that's this good for you costs less than $3 per day. I simply put 1 small scoop in a bottle of water, drink it before, after my workouts, or first thing to start the day to set the table for the rest of it. So if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement and routine, Athletic Greens giving you, the Bird Gang, a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. I have noticed so many benefits with AG1, and it's made a huge difference in my life in prioritizing my health. See for yourself, athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Another draft target to get to. Now let's kind of pivot to later on in the draft. Pick number 30 here with the player who we actually talked to at the Super Bowl on Super Bowl Radio Row. That's Cam Smith, cornerback out of South Carolina. He became a viral sensation because he famously said during a game this past year, "You just got to drop your nuts." Love the swagger. When I scout him, kind of lacks athleticism. So that's a little bit of a concern as he shifts gears to the NFL level. But an instinctual and smart player. He plays like a wide receiver at cornerback, meaning he's always trying to get after the football like a wide receiver always does. Doesn't wait for the ball to come to him, he attacks it. While he might lack crazy, freaky athleticism, he does have short area quickness. And that's where sometimes the 3-cone comes into play. Does have injury issues over the last couple of years, which is a little bit of a concern because obviously playing at the NFL level, there's an uptick in that physicality. He was targeted 38 times last year for South Carolina. He gave up 18 catches. Now, while the athleticism might be a little bit of a concern, when I saw him at the NFL Scouting Combine, it looked as though he added on some weight, looks to be in good shape. That's obviously big for him. Now let's go to the offensive side of the football. As we've gone kind of defensive heavy on today's draft episode, I love this kid in Jahmyr Gibbs, and for producer Trace, unfortunately, he dusted some Arkansas Razorbacks in this photo here. But Arkansas Razorbacks, not the only players who were getting dusted by Jahmyr Gibbs this past year for Alabama. Jahmyr Gibbs' fit in this offense, he could be electrifying in this Eagles offense. He can run in between the tackles. He can get out to the edge. And to have the value of Gibbs at pick number 30, operating under the assumption that Miles Sanders goes somewhere else for $8 to $10 million per year, and you're paying Jahmyr Gibbs a fraction of the price, it could be a steal for the Eagles in this draft. And I'm not an advocate for taking a running back in the first round. But the Eagles don't have a ton of needs on this roster right now, so that they can afford to replace Miles Sanders with the player who, honestly, might have more potential and is a lot cheaper. And he can do it all as well. 151 carries in 2022, 926 rushing yards. Yards per carry, that's 6.1. He also had 44 receptions and 444 receiving yards. So coming out of the backfield in this offense is really important to be that receiving threat, but also he can run it all across the field. And I think this is a very interesting breakdown thanks to our friends at Pro Football Focus. And this shows you that Gibbs can run anywhere here because this is the breakdown of his gap decisions. So the A gap is to the right or the left of the center. Let's hope that Jason Kelce comes back. He had 44 attempts for 487 yards going through the A gap here. That's right directly through the heart and the teeth of that defensive line. B gap here, to the right of the right guard or the left of the left guard. That's 27 attempts for 76 yards. C gap, 18 carries for 88, and then going out wide. So he's used primarily A gap and out wide, 61 carries for 358 yards. I love the multi-purpose nature of Jahmyr Gibbs. I love that he can be a 3-down running back, a guy who has the physicality to hold up in the trenches in between the tackles, get out wide, but also be very dynamic with the ball in his hands as a pass-catching option as well. So that does it for our Eagles mock draft roundup, taking a look at some of these Eagles draft prospects. If you're excited for the draft, I simply want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. It does begin with the first round, Thursday, April 27th. All right. So let's ask you this. Your favorite part of the offseason, D for draft, F for free agency. Those of you who didn't get your votes in, do so right now. And I asked y'all to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, so that we could get to 100 likes by the end of the segment. We did it. So cheers to you out of the Philly mug. One more segment to get to, then we'll do a beer bong race. But on the back half of the segment, I want to take some of your questions. I want to take some of your super chats. So it's up to you to get those questions, those comments, and those hot takes in. I know John O'Malley was in there a little bit earlier, but use the hashtag Eagles or super chat to get featured on the show. And here's our super chat menu. $5, you get to sign the 3D Man Cave sign. Right now, we're in line to send this to Elijah Stovall. Biggest super chatter today at $105, but you can get on the back of this by putting your name on it with the $5 donation. $10, we'll spin the wheel. No wheel spins yet. $20, Philly special sip. Say that 10 times fast. $50, Trace has to train like Rocky. And $100, beer bong race. We'll do those after this. The pass master. I don't know, guys. They might go offensive line again. They could at number 30. Shoot, wouldn't surprise me if Howie does it at number 10. All right, last segment, our third and final of the show. Then we'll do a little Eagles Now happy hour. I'm going to explain how the NFL is screwing the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh! Flipping the bird 85! Let's The number to beat, 106. 106.
Let's go!
Unbelievable.
I'm meeting B-Doc in March. I'll get a pic with him. Birds for life. Bro, bring the helmet. Bring the B-Doc helmet. Isn't that the helmet that he won?
Yes, that's what he won.
Bring the helmet and go meet B-Doc. That's
the
crazy.
bird. You already have the helmet.
That's wild. That's so cool.
You're meeting B-Doc with the B-Doc helmet. Are you going to go double signature on that?
You might have to.
Might have to.
Or on the man cave sign if you end up winning it.
Wow. The
That'd be
3D
neat.
print, as of right now, it's going to Flipping the Bird 85 because Squirter Tentacles isn't reaching out to us.
All right, so if you want the man cave sign, got to beat 106. Even 1 penny, we'll give it to you.
Yep.
You just got to beat him by 1 penny.
10601.
Yeah. If you can even do that, we'll definitely give it to you because I don't know if you can do a cent.
John O'Malley, that's fire AF, bro. Yes, it is. John just added Elijah, said, can you beat him? Oh, man. Y'all are crazy. All right, another reminder, hashtag Eagles or Super Chat to get on the program. I'm going to explain how the Eagles are getting screwed, potentially, by the NFL. 10-day turnaround body. Check out Kalijah Cansey, D-tackle from Pittsburgh. I've heard some good things. You've done a little research into him? What round are they thinking for him, maybe?
They were saying for Campbell or Kalijah Cansey, early second, late first possibly.
Got it.
More so, I feel like he could probably
Kind of
go.
depends on what happens during the combine.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
He could
And
blow up
if
there.
there's like a stretch of a bunch of, running backs getting pulled right off the rip
Right.
or, whoever, then obviously that can change it too.
Yeah, interesting. All right. So hashtag Eagles or Super Chat to get on the show. I'm going to explain how the NFL is kind of screwing over the Eagles if they ban this quarterback sneak. And then on the back end of that, we're going to start taking some of your questions. So let's hop into it right now. Is the National Football League trying to screw the Philadelphia Eagles out of using their best play by banning it? That's what we're talking about on Philadelphia Eagles now, and I'm fired up today because I think this is blasphemous. I think this is ridiculous because this offseason, according to Dean Blandino, head officiating expert on Fox Sports, he said that the NFL is looking into outlawing the Philadelphia Eagles rugby scrum quarterback sneak formation. And this is a play that with Jalen Hurts has worked so well over the last couple of years. And for me, my argument against teams who don't want this play to be legal, who are complaining about this play, how about this? To all the crybaby defenders and crybaby organizations out there, work on stopping the play. The Philadelphia Eagles have done a better job of perfecting this play and having it become more efficient than any other team in the National Football League. So why can't defenses do a better job of stopping the Eagles' rugby scrum and picking up that quarterback sneak in which pretty much they were undefeated in those conversions all throughout this season? And if you don't want to face the Eagles and their rugby scrum quarterback sneak, why don't you limit them and stop them from getting to a 3rd and short and getting to a 4th and short and playing ahead of the sticks? That's partially why this Eagles offense was so good this past year. The Eagles have perfected the play and are the most efficient quarterback sneak team in the NFL. Why should they get penalized for this? It really doesn't make any sense. And it's not like the Eagles are dirty in doing this. It's not like they're doing anything that's illegal. They have just mastered it. And it's partially due to the personnel on this roster. The Eagles have arguably the best offensive line in the NFL. They get the push against the opposing defensive line. And then their quarterback, who's the one who's pushing the pile, in Jalen Hurts, is a freak athlete that squats about 600 pounds. And so people try to respond to me on Twitter by saying, Jalen Hurts isn't doing anything. He's being pushed from behind. Yeah, he is. But players getting pushed by fellow offensive linemen, by fellow teammates to pick up a first down and move the chains, That has happened for literally every single team in the National Football League. And for Hurts, there aren't many quarterbacks out there who can drive the pile like him because of the work that he puts in to build up the strength that he has in his lower body. And what's funny about this is that Tom Brady, in 2 decades of playing the quarterback position, pretty much undefeated at quarterback sneaks. And the New England Patriots got very creative as far as how they went about that formation. It wasn't an issue with Tom Brady, but now with Jalen Hurts and the Birds, it decides to be an issue by the NFL because they were so dominant in picking up those first downs. Don't hate. The Eagles got creative while other teams got stagnant. The Eagles found ways to pick apart the system and pick apart opposing defenses while other teams didn't do it. This was on tape from game 1. Teams didn't start doing this until the later part of the year. What took them so long? Were they jealous of the Philadelphia Eagles? Probably. And then they realized, shoot, we don't have the personnel. We don't have the quarterback to pick up these short yardage situations. So let's go to the NFL. Let's complain about it, and let's outlaw this play. Here's what Dean Blandino said last week, and it's him just being a fraud, kind of saying that as a joke. But he said this. I was talking to Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton during Sunday's Super Bowl, and he said, we're going to do this every time next year if they don't take it out. Fine, do it. I challenge you. It amounts to a rugby scrum, is what Blandino continued by saying. The NFL wants to showcase the athleticism and skill of our athletes. This is just not a skillful play. This is just a tactic that is not an aesthetically pleasing play, and I think the competition committee is going to take a look at it. So, a couple of things here. The NFL wants to showcase athleticism and the skill of our athletes. Are we disregarding all offensive linemen? Are we disregarding how good of an athlete Jason Kelce is? Isaac Seumalo, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson. Do we not want to marvel at those guys with that size being able to push the pile and drive their legs in a really impressive way? By the way, going head-to-head against other guys who are 300, 350 pounds, it's not a skillful play when Jalen Hurts is able to squat 600 pounds, put guys on his back, guys around his feet, and still carry them and move the chains for a first down. It's not an aesthetically pleasing play, but we can go fullback dives, we can go I formation, we can go regular quarterback sneak. Come on now. I just don't get it. It is a skillful play because there's a reason other teams don't attempt this. Kirk Cousins would never do it. He sucks on these quarterback sneaks because he has a weak lower body. Patrick Mahomes doesn't even sneak it anymore because he dislocated his knee on the goal line on this type of play. What is the NFL thinking? I'm telling the other teams out there, and I'm telling the NFL, stop the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't get jealous. And if they outlaw this play, they are screwing the Eagles out of one of the more efficient plays that they have in their playbook. So if you're with me, everybody get into the comment section right now. Let me hear you. Type F that down there because I want to see everybody typing those F that's. All right, before we start taking your questions, Philadelphia Eagles now is sponsored by Cultivate. What is Cultivate? A free browser extension that brings transparency to your Amazon shopping experiences. Cultivate shows you the brand, seller, or product origin and identifies local alternatives that support local community efforts while saving you money. With over 50% of Amazon U.S. sellers based in China, Cultivate offers a way to avoid trickery from these sellers and keep money in the U.S. economy. Cultivate offers alternatives that are on average 30% less expensive than Amazon without any additional costs, such as Amazon Prime. It can even identify local alternatives that you can pick up the same day. Cultivate users earn free donations as rewards for using the extension, and the more you use it, the more you earn in donations by increasing your level. In fact, Cultivate donates 51% of the revenue they make on your purchase. So what are you waiting for, Bird Gang? Head to wecultivate.us/chatsports and download the Cultivate extension for free. I have it on my web browser, so too does Trace and Abby, and let Cultivate bring transparency, savings, and community support to your Amazon shopping journey. Support the show. Download it with our link. It's down in the comment section as well as the description of this video. We'll start to answer your questions and your super chats here. $5 coming in from the Passmaster. Chase, it's a debate among chat sports, all with valid points and reasoning. What's your take? Who should it be at cornerback? Witherspoon, Gonzalez, or Porter? Hashtag real one. You really are a real one. The Passmaster watches like all of our live shows. Look, I have a thing in terms of scouting the cornerback position for Joey Porter Jr. I think him and Witherspoon are the top two, with Gonzalez being there. I'm afraid that people are so high on Gonzalez just because of his athleticism and his twitchiness. I think that Porter translates to a really good corner in this league because of his physicality and his length. So I think all three are good. I don't think that you can go wrong with either of them. You look at what Porter did in 2022. This dude was a stud, man. 254 coverage snaps, 0 touchdowns allowed, 10 forced incompletions, and a passer rating of 59.1. Really, really good player. Peter Thurman, real one, roll call. If you're a real one, that means that you're subscribed, you love the Birds, and you love Eagles now. Give us a real one down below. John O'Malley, Big John checking in. Who do you think is the leading candidate for defensive coordinator? So Vance Joseph is to the Broncos. Jim Leonard out of the mix. So I'd say that Sean Desai right now is the leader in the clubhouse to be named defensive coordinator. I kind of like Glenn Schumann out of Georgia, the Georgia Bulldogs defensive coordinator and inside linebackers coach. He's only 32 years old. I'd also put Denard Wilson in there, the Eagles defensive backs coach, who C.J. Gardner-Johnson told me is the reason why he made that seamless transition from cornerback to safety. Panic at the Disco, do you think Cox will retire or run it back for another year? I don't think that he's going to retire, but I think that the Eagles are going to be in a very difficult situation. Bring back Brandon Graham or bring back Fletcher Cox, and you have to choose between one of those Eagles legends. Because you might bring back Javon Hargrave, and if you do that, I think the writing is on the wall for Cox to go somewhere else. Now, if Cox thinks that he can get paid somewhere else, then go do it, man. Like, extend your NFL career, which is bordering on maybe a Hall of Fame career for nearly a decade. He's been one of the top defensive tackles in the game. If he still wants to play and he can get a payday, go get it somewhere. Like, you know, I don't blame you for leaving. But if he wants to maybe play 1-2 more years and play on a hometown discount, he's earned a lot of money from the Eagles, then come back. I'm okay with that, with him being kind of a rotational defensive tackle at this point. Give more snaps to Jordan Davis. Cool Reigns, our Aussie mate, would you trade a third-round pick for Dalvin Cook? I wouldn't, because he's being paid a lot of money, and I'd rather go Jahmyr Gibbs at number 30, or I'd rather go with a running back at some point in the NFL draft, or even cheaper in free agency. Like, by trading for Dalvin Cook, that then means that you're paying his contract, and I think he's been banged up the last couple of years. I'm not sure with the workload that he's had, how much great football he has left. Good player, though, when he's been right. Bush Gardens fandom. Bush Gardens, good spot. What will the Eagles do in the NFL draft? Look, I think at 10 and 30, it's going to be a combination of a couple of things. It could be offensive tackle. It could be defensive end, defensive tackle, cornerback, maybe safety. I think all those positions are in play in the first round. Elsewhere, Eagles always like to build up that offensive line. They could go after a safety, maybe a developmental type. They could go after another wide receiver for a guy to be wide receiver 3. They could go after another tight end. They could go running back. All of those areas wouldn't surprise me one bit. The options are certainly open. John O'Malley, do you think we should go after Rex Ryan as our defensive coordinator? It's very interesting because I wouldn't hate bringing in a veteran defensive coordinator, but as of right now, the oldest DC candidate that the Eagles have hired is Vance Joseph at 50. Other than that, everybody's in their early 40s or in their 30s. Like Glenn Schumann out of Georgia, he's 32 years old. But Sirianni had a lot of luck with hiring Jonathan Gannon, as well as Shane Steichen. They were younger. He's younger. He knows a lot of young coaches across the NFL. But with a guy like Rex Ryan, I think that he could be a very, very good defensive coordinator. It'd be a cool story for him coming back to Philadelphia, where he grew up under his dad, Buddy Ryan, and having a veteran against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs and all of the experience that he's had, he might be able to make the adjustments that Jonathan Gannon never did. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because whenever a big move happens for the Birds, we're going to cover it right here on the show. So hit that sub button and join the Fly Eagles Fly family here at Chat Sports. All right. Another question before we do our beer bongs. Flipping the bird with the 10. Is Jalen Hurts a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? We could save it. Yeah. Flipping the bird 85. Sup, Chase? You are the real one, my guy. I appreciate it, homie. Do you think Howie could get King Henry in free agency with A.J. Brown's help, convincing him to come to Philadelphia like Slade did for Bradberry? Yeah, sure. We could throw it in the mailbag. Yeah. Do you want me to kind of? He sent in the 10 right after the cut, so hard pause and then do it. Cool. Last question coming in from Flipping the Bird 85, a $10 super chat. What's up, Chase? You are the real one, my guy. I disagree. You're the real one, my guy. Do you think Howie Roseman could get Derrick Henry, King Henry, in free agency with A.J. Brown's help, convincing him to come to Philly like Slade did for Bradberry? So here's the issue with Derrick Henry. He's not a free agent. He would have to be traded for, and he's owed a lot of money. Now, Derrick Henry in this offense would be intriguing, but I actually don't really love the fit. Why? Because Derrick Henry is best with the quarterback who oftentimes is under center. And in this offense, you're running a lot of things from the shotgun and RPO. So Henry doesn't have that full steam ahead type of momentum because he'd be starting in the gun as compared to being that solo tailback with Jalen Hurts under center. He'd be able to really pick up some steam heading toward that line of scrimmage, and he's not really a pass-catching option as well. So I actually wouldn't trade for Derrick Henry. One, he's getting a little bit older, even though the production was there last year coming off the foot injury. Two, I don't think he's a scheme fit, and I'd rather just go after a cheaper running back in free agency or the draft, or just bring back Miles Sanders. All right, so Flipping the Bird, we have to spin the wheel for you. And right now, the number to beat to have this sent to you, 106 from Flipping the Bird. Let's spin that wheel here. See what it's going to land on for Flipping the Bird. Oh, I love it. Because we're coming to you from our Chat Sports studios in Dallas, Texas. How about them Cowboys? F them as always. F them as always. All right, so what? We have to do 2 beer bong races? 3? Oh, my goodness.
Okay, let me know in the comments section. Type, if you want us to do a beer bong race, type R. If you want me to do just a straight up beer boot, I'll do that. It's 3 beers either way.
Yeah.
So let me know in the comments. Type B for beer boot. Type F for funnel race.
Yeah. Or we could do this. I can do a beer bong. You do a boot. And then we figure out the third.
That also works.
That could be a thing. Yeah.
They are trying to screw us!
You love that? Fantastic. Let's see. Flipping the Bird said R. John O'Malley, R. Andre Lynch, Seth Joyner would be great as a linebackers coach. So we can race. I could send a message into production. We need beer bongs and we need beers. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, send a message to everybody. So we had 3 $100 super chats come in. So we're going to figure it all out. It's Eagles Now happy hour. If you want to send in an additional super chat, $5 gets you on this sign, which right now is going to Flipping the Bird 85. $10, we spin the wheel. $20, a Philly special sip. $50, Trace will train like Rocky. He'll put on the Rocky gloves here. And then $100 for the beer bong race. So stay tuned for all of that. Yeah, seriously. The Latin Inferno. Seth would be an awesome coach, especially with his insight and NFL experience. My man would get super aggressive. I mean, he's talked about that a lot, and obviously he criticized Jonathan Gannon a ton. So I'd be interested to see it. Also replace Quez at wide receiver 3. That's why I talked about Robert Woods yesterday, and then last week talked about Jarvis Landry. Yeah, maybe. I should have clarified. All right. Give me one of those beer bongs. Trace is coming up. We're going to do our beer bong race. Robert Jones. I like to see Robert Woods as wide receiver 3. Watch our show from yesterday if you didn't. Cool Rains. Get me Cole Hardman to replace Quez. Good player. That's a good one. He would just cost a lot. Alan Lazard. Interesting. All right, here we go. All right, Blah. Flipping the bird. Quez is coming back. Yeah, he's under contract, but it's more so of, like, can you get a better option at wide receiver 3 than Quez Watkins? That's really what it comes down to. The old nose grease trick. It's weird, man. All right, who wins? C for Trace. C for Chase. T for Trace. C for Chase. T for Trace. I messed it up myself. All right, you ready? Cheers. That was pretty easy. It's a lot easier warm.
Oh, it's so much easier.
Never really done much of a warm beer bong.
It's not. There's no carbonation.
Yeah.
It's night and day.
You'd love to see it. Just, I guess, dump that in. Dump the remaining. All right, so that's one beer bong race. Abby's doing 75 hard, so we're not going to force her up here. That wouldn't be fair. I sent a message to other people. They're too scared. Nobody responded to my message. Anybody want to do a beer bong race? The entire company has not responded. They're all scared, I guess. Beer stain on the hoodie. Brutal development. Greg Reed, a good cheap cornerback. Parlay, we should definitely change our offensive attack. Why? They were top 5 in almost every offensive category this year. Why would you want to change up the offense? The Latin Inferno, CJ Gardner-Johnson, priority number 1. He'll definitely be atop their list. Bassmaster, battle wound, exactly. Shit, I'll run it back right now. That was too easy. Yeah, fuck it. Kylie, what's up, Kylie? Chase. Will the Eagles keep Jalen? It's not Trace's Kylie. Izzy B, hold your horses. It's not McGee. Chase, will the Eagles keep Jalen, do you think? Yes. They're going to sign him to a contract extension. What'd you say? I don't know where Izzle for Shizzle's been. John O'Malley, did Izzy ever reach out to you on Instagram? If so, where's she been? Big John in the house. Both. All right, second beer bong race coming up. Yeah, just do that. Deborah Kaiser, one of our real ones, always into the comment section. Deborah, 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 Deborah. John said, I don't know, Chase. I was going to ask you the same thing. MIA. Izzy and the I stands for MIA. Hopefully she's okay, though. We love Izzy. We also need a good return man. Clean music lover. It's a good point. Britton Covey was fair catch Covey all year.
What are your thoughts on this one, Chase? I have an idea for you. You need a kick returner, a guy you could go get and not have to spend hardly any money. Darius Davis, wide receiver, out of TCU, a speedster kick return specialist, 5 kick returns or punt returns for touchdowns last year.
Wow.
For the Horned Frogs, incredibly fast, very shifty guy.
But can't really catch or do anything else.
Well, I think he had like 5 receiving touchdowns.
All right.
But he was behind the first round guy.
Yeah. Kendre Miller.
Yes,
yeah.
Miller. But
yeah.
He's that's a fifth, sixth round guy you could possibly go get.
Flipping the bird. Yeah, Covey got a little bit better. I agree. Deborah, love you guys. We love you too.
Where's Devin Allen? Where's the Olympic runner?
Kylie wants a picture signed and sent on Instagram. We might be able to do that. We won't do it with a beer bong though, Kylie. And I need to get this beer stain off my hoodie. We need a new punter. Sipas cost us the Super Bowl. That punt wasn't good. Yeah, that punt wasn't good. There's no doubt. But he was also injured. Honestly, kind of a weird move for the Eagles to activate him. All right. Here's another one. All right. Yeah. Easier than a shotgun. The Latinferno. First you said, what, you said shanked, spanked. What's the difference? Exactly. What's the difference? All right, does anybody else want to get on here? We're all caught up on the names. The Passmaster is the other one. Sorry. We got to put Passmaster on here.
All right, so I just want to put this out there. We're $70 away from $400. If we can get to $400,
what's he doing?
1 second, guys.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
All right, if we can get $400, I'll get the dolphin costume out. We'll get crazy.
Okay, how about that? We're 70 away from 400. Trey said if we get to $400 in super chats. What? Oh, okay. Well, that's soft. You got to do 10 if that's the word.
Hey.
So
$100 super chat, and Will has to do 20 laps in his dolphin costume.
So Trey said $70 more we get to 400. He'll put on the dolphin suit, but some inside the walls talk here at Chat Sports. So Will is very extra. Will Scott, we love him, but he said that his Dolphins video that he was going to put out was going to be the most viewed in 30 minutes among the last 10. And when it is the top viewed video on YouTube, like confetti pops, it was the 6th best video out of the 10. So he said, I'll do 10 laps around the office if it's not 1 of 10. So that's what he's doing right now in his dolphin outfit. So if we get to 400, at some point we'll take the dolphin outfit off of Will, pause, and then Trace will wear it.
Cool Rains, if you send a $500 super chat, I'll do it. Not to get to 500, we have to have a $500 super chat.
Yeah, Cool Rains.
I'll put that damn dress on.
It was a $500 solo super chat for Trace to put on the dress, not to 500, which were $170 away. Passmaster, give Will a breather. He did it to himself, man. You can't talk a big game and not back it up. You know? Cool Rain said, don't have that. Understand, mate. Is Hardman a free agent? Yes, he is, Latinferno.
If anybody else has a $500 they just want to throw around
yeah.
and put a husky kid in a dress.
If you want a husky kid in a dress, $500 will do it, and we'll send you this. Yeah. He's got a very hairy chest if you want to see it. Parlay. We have 3 tight ends. that could get more targets, 2 running backs that don't fit, and 2 wide receivers that can play the whole game. Change the format. I hated that screen pass slant only offense. I mean, did you miss all the deep throws to Smith? A.J. Brown? This is a very good offense here. Oh, man, we have to do another beer bong, don't we? These calories are killing me. But we did it to ourselves. We put it on the Super Chat menu. $5, get on the Man Cave sign. All right, let's send our picture to Kylie here, Trace. So come on camera. Jason, which defensive coordinator would you like now that Joseph and Leonard are out of the running? Jesse Minter, I'd like him. Glenn Schumann. The players swear by Denard Wilson, so sometimes they're right. Flipping the bird said, Parlay, you're thinking too hard. Stop. Isaac! Isaac, you're going on the Man Cave sign. All right, let's get this picture done for Kylie. All right. Will is running. He's off and running. He needs to do all 10. That's just such a soft move. All right, we'll sign this here. We'll get that $5 super chat popped up. Fuck. Kylie, I'm trying to sign this for you. Damn, this is tough. All right, Kylie. We autographed the picture for you, or at least I did. I'll get that sent to you. Let's see. All right, Kylie, sent you that picture. Here's a $5 super chat coming in from Isaac, so we'll put his name on the Man Cave sign. Isaac Torres, real one. If the Cowboys release Zeke, do you think the Eagles would be open to signing him if the deal is team friendly? If the deal is team friendly, I'd explore it. But dude, I've been saying for the last couple of years that like Zeke is washed. Now, as a short yardage physical back, some people were in the comment section saying, you know, we want a back and we need a back who's physical, who can pick up those short yardage situations. I'd think about it, especially to just get at the Cowboys, especially if you're facing Dallas and you have that 3rd and minimum, you have that 4th and short. I would think about it. I would explore it. But I think that Zeke as a 3-down back, those days have been over for a really long time. Good job, Will. All right, Will completed his 5 laps. Yeah, Trey said, you're not mic'd up, are you? Yeah, Trey said, I don't know how this job is real sometimes. I don't either. I don't either.
Yeah, we went to college. Just going to put that out there.
Yes. Yes. All right. One more beer bong race to get to, and then we'll sign off. All right, one more beer bong race. This is 3 in like 10 minutes. I still have to run today. I lifted this morning, but I have to run today. It's not going to be fun. Oh, this one's cold. It's going to be a little hard. It's all right. Clean music lover. If Trey Benson is declaring for the draft, I would take him. Micro Mike is in the house. I like beer bongs.
Hey,
actually, it's no longer Micro Mike. It's Mike Kimber.
Everyone type Mike in the chat.
Everybody type Mike in the chat. Type Mike in the chat for a real one. Mike Kimber in the building. A great channel, Detroit Lions Talk.
Beer bongs. Hey, Mike, I do too. We should be friends.
Yeah, Mike, obviously this is the Eagles Now happy hour. 3 segments in the can. Now we're just chilling. Boss man James in the building. The Don. Are we gonna take your DC?
Micro Mike!
Micro Mike! 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 Mike!
Woo!
Oh, that's good stuff. All right. See, now that it's colder, not much foam. The Latin Inferno, Magic Mike.
Let's go.
Was he a Magic Mike at one point? He was in the military, so thank you for your service. Chris Madsen, Chase, will Jake Paul win? Shoot, his fight coming up? Dude, the Paul brothers, everybody wants to rip them. I don't really understand it. Like, they're good fighters.
Say what you want. Dude, quad.
What's that?
Dude, old school.
Thoughts?
Jake, the thing about the Paul brothers is they're obnoxious.
They are
as
good
shit.
fighters.
They're
That's a bad take,
They're obnoxious as hell. That
They're
being said,
obnoxious.
They're geniuses. They're geniuses.
but they're good fighters.
They're smart at what they do. They know how to market themselves. They know how to brand themselves.
Abby,
They're
you don't think that
geniuses.
Jake or Logan Paul is a good fighter? But, like, here's my thing. They went from, like, YouTube personalities to legit getting in the ring. I understand with MMA fighters. But the fact that they still beat them is still kind of impressive.
Micro Mike.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I were to get in the ring with an MMA fighter, I'd be cooked. Exactly. So I give what I'm saying.
So Logan Paul, Cool Rings puts up.
What'd you say? No, I was letting you go.
Cool Rings brings up a good point. I'd rather see them in the WWE.
That would
Logan
make
Paul
more
has
sense.
Done WWE stuff. That makes sense. I feel that. No, you
Yes.
can't fake.
That's why I give them credit. That's what I'm saying.
They're still shitty people.
Okay, all right. Abby thinks the fights are rigged. So here's the thing. I haven't really actually watched Logan Paul fight. I've more so watched Jake Paul fight. He knocked out Ben Askren, and he straight up put him to bed. Woodward, Tyron Woodley.
Tommy Fury is fucked.
I'm just giving him credit because, like, it's not easy to get in the ring and actually be a solid fighter. Yeah. He will, for sure.
Hey, hammer the Paul. Hammer the Paul.
Flipping the bird, Tyree Jackson tight end too. I like that. All right.
That's how you want to play. Especially one that you're not qualified to win.
Dude, Micro, we played that clip today. Dude, took a dart to the jugular, man. You're crazy, man.
awesome.
You're crazy. We played that today, actually,
Awesome.
in the office. Sometimes you just need a break. You know, you're staring at a computer screen for a couple hours. You need to laugh a little bit. That was our laugh today. All right. Yeah.
You're crazy.
Yeah. Yes!
Awesome.
That'll puncture the skin of a rhino. All right. Whew. That is cold. Ah, much colder. Oh, we're great. About to wrap up. Good. Here you go. All right. I'll go 2-minute shot clock here. 2-minute super chat shot clock. If you want us to stay live, we will, but we'll sign off. If not, Kamal Jones, Fly Eagles Fly. What's up, Kamal? First time seeing you in the chat, but if you're just hopping in here, we did 3 segments, so we've just been hanging out for a little while, living up to the super chats here. 2-minute super chat shot clock.
2 minutes remaining.
Yep.
All right. They said, the bosses just came in and said, there's no way. There's just no way you guys get to 400.
The bosses did say,
They just
no
said
way
it.
you get to 400.
And the Cowboys fans boss said it.
We're, let's see, $65 from 400.
That's nothing. That's nothing. I know the bird gang will come through. They've already came through enough. They don't have to, but I know they will.
47 seconds in. John O'Malley, what do you think we should do about kick returner, punt returner? If you re-sign Boston Scott, why not just have him as your kick returner? Or do you look for a twitchier option, a guy who's a little bit faster? I wouldn't hate that. Do you use like a 5th-round pick, 6th-round pick on a wide receiver in the draft who might have deficiencies as a route runner and pure wide receiver, but as a really good return guy? That's another option. Do you try to sign a guy for cheap in free agency? I mean, the Niners signing Ray McCloud was a great signing by them for like, I think, $3 to $5 million per year. He changed what was a bad special teams unit. Kamal Jones, Tavon Austin. I mean, he's kind of washed, but a guy like that is who I'm thinking about. His college football tape at West Virginia, unbelievable. Mike Kimber, Lions Talk. Everclear Beer Bong, $1,000 super chat. I would die.
Deal.
Or I could just make it water and say that it's Everclear because nobody can tell the difference. Right?
Also deal.
That would be awful. That would be awful. All right. We're approaching 2 minutes here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give you about a 20-second delay because some people like to watch on delay. Andre Lynch, go Birds! Jabril Peppers from Flipping the Bird 85. Interesting name. Kind of a hybrid player. Safety. Almost like a modern-day safety linebacker. He's okay. He played okay this past year. I thought he went back to the Giants. Patriots, that's right. That's right. All right. We out. Another great Thursday show in the books. Thanks to everybody who watched. If you did miss, our previous 3 segments in which we're actually talking football and not just chopping it up, having fun, go back and watch it. We're about to put out another video in about 20 minutes or so. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Fly Eagles Fly, EAGLES, and we'll see you next week live.